And then one day I just woke up and I realized that I should I should pursue the arts. But that wasn't because I thought I was such a great artist. I feel like I was just really creative in terms of my imagination and how I view things. So that's what really helped me. My name is Phoebe Marie Mandi, but everyone calls me Faye. My artist name is Faye Mandi. I'm 22 years old. I graduated 2 years ago, so I've been self-employed for 3 years now. I graduated with a major in painting, but right now I do sculptures. I'm trying to focus on that, but I still paint. Usually I paint for my commissions like murals or painting commissions lang talaga. I do my sculptures for exhibitions. I'm definitely an abstract artist. I don't do hyperrealism, which means I cannot paint faces. I can paint faces, but they'll come out abstract. I can paint landscapes, but I really enjoy doing abstract art. It's giving people also a different view of the world because I see things differently. We can look at the same object and I would see something different. You'd see something different. I have a favorite quote that I always tell myself when I create my work. Sometimes you run out of inspiration, and I always tell myself that it's not about what you see because we all see the same things. It's about how you look at things. My thesis exhibition was actually focusing on creating an environment that encourages people to take a closer look, to critically look, not just see, but to really look. So this year marks my 6th year as a practicing artist. In school, almost every 2 weeks, I make something for one subject and plus multiple subjects pa. So siguro in 2 weeks, I have around 2 to 3 works that I've created. When you're a senior already, you have to come up with a solo exhibition. So for one whole year, you're just creating works for one exhibition, your own exhibition. So during that year, I created a lot of prototypes, but I ended up with 9 works, like 9 solid works. I think that's when I can start counting my works na akin talaga. Kasi they're not done for school. I don't follow a brief. It really came from my own mind, my own statement with my own intention. I think what inspires me to create art is the fact that I do believe it is a gift given to me. It really changes my perspective. Before I was an art student, I did not paint yet, but I think I was creative. I would join mga art contests, slogan making in elementary. I feel like since I was blessed with a gift like this, I should use it to express myself and also draw attention to things that are important to me. Of course, my biggest inspiration in my life is really my family. I feel like my life, I live it for my family talaga. But in terms of my work, who do I make art for? I think mostly for myself. Kasi nga it's a mode of expression for me. So when I'm going through something, it's my outlet as well. My favorite work was really my solo thesis exhibition because I made sculptures for that. I had around 8 sculptures and one short film that played over and over again. I was a painting major, yet I had no painting at all during my thesis exhibition, and all my other batchmates, they were painting for their thesis. My professor actually talked to me towards the end na of my school year, and he was telling me that my work will not sell like hot pancakes. Kasi if you see the works of my batchmates, they're really nice. Like they had landscape paintings. I had a friend who painted flowers. I had also a friend who did self-portraits. And these things sell to the market. I had egg sculptures. I had sculptures yung sa soda can. I had sculptures yung coconut husk. People don't usually buy kasi that's what you call conceptual art. And at first, I thought nobody would understand it and I'd have to end up explaining it to a lot of people. But that's what statements are for naman. So, that's my favorite body of work because I feel like that's when I really found myself. And I realized na I wanted to be an artist not for the money, but because I was given a space to express myself and talk about things I don't normally want to talk about with other people. Yet, I also hope that when people see my works, they learn a thing or two. I have things I want to say to the world, you know, and I'm given a platform, I'm given a channel where I can put my thoughts and my dreams and make them tangible objects for the world to see. Sometimes when I go through hardships in life and I create work, I feel much lighter because I feel like I've released these emotions into my work. I take ordinary objects from our everyday lives like eggshells, soda cans, coconut husks, pedestals. These are usually things that are already created and they have their own purpose na we attribute to them. Like eggshells, we throw them away because we use the eggs for eating. And pedestals, they're meant for holding up art pieces. And coconut husks are meant for shining floors or holding halo-halo. And I try to transform a small part of the object, not everything. Usually, I transform what's inside. Just like sa egg and sa soda can and sa pedestals, you transform a part of them that takes away its given purpose. And I try to see if by losing its original purpose and by not having a use to humans, aside from looking beautiful, does it become more art than object? So I subvert these normal everyday objects and make them art pieces by transforming a part of them and taking away their natural purpose. That was the siguro, structure of how I do the pieces for that exhibition. But in terms of statement, it's really about encouraging people to take a closer look at things. And I think that's the power of art. Things we don't usually pay attention to. Now we just look over and we ignore. Using your platform, you let people look at these things and they actually can appreciate. They become more than what they are. We all see the same thing. We live in the same world. So it's really about how you view things and give meaning to the things around you. When it comes to making art, my biggest influences are Merit Oppenheim. So she had this piece that is a cup and a spoon and a saucer covered in hair. For So it just looks really odd. It really inspired my thesis also in a way that you took away the purpose of the cup. So then you can't really drink from it anymore. You can't use the spoon anymore. You can't use the saucer anymore because it's covered in fur. So that inspired me wanting to subvert ordinary everyday objects. Another one of my influences is the 13 moderns. So in the Philippines, there's these 13 artists who created works na abstract. So basically, it's not like Amor Solo. They were painting abstract images. So they were painting construction workers, but then the shape of the body different. Really abstract works, and nobody understood it. Everyone was mad at them, saying that they're destroying the concept of art. Like it's like they're ridiculing the idea of art because they're not painting landscapes, they're not painting seascapes, they're not painting the Filipino image like Amor Solo did. Then they broke the standard here in the Philippines. And like I told you, it's always scary because when you create art, you always try to come up with something new, something that has never been seen. And that's impossible, honestly, because everything exists already around you and they just inspire you. So even if your work looks entirely new, it's just really a mixture of a lot of different works. That's why it looks new. It's the combination. It's scary every time you release a work because you really get different feedback. Some people are offended by your work. Some people really love it. And you have to let go of that fear because it will really hold you back. It really is the fear. So parang 13 moderns, they really taught me to not be afraid to really express myself, to go outside of the box. Art is not only beautiful, but it speaks. It really shows me that through my art, I can talk about issues I can express myself. I did make a piece on domestic violence before, and it's the soda can piece. Like it's a soda can, but it's open in the front. There's a light inside, but it's color red if you look at it from afar. If you look close enough, like inside, there is a ring, like a wedding ring. And then there's a wine cork na parang you know how parts of it fall out from its brittle. So I painted it red as well. And there were also roses inside and they were painted red. But everything was red and metallic and glittery and pretty inside. And it was called Casa. And everybody kept thinking I was talking about house. Because that's the Spanish word for casa. But then actually I was talking about marriage. Because we use the word casa as marriage in Chabacano, right? And it's actually about domestic violence. Because every time everybody saw it, they always told me it's so pretty. It's like a little night lamp, and it's so shiny inside. But then that's also, um, I also wanted to talk about how it's not always what it looks like when it comes to domestic violence. A family can look really happy, but you don't really know what's happening when doors are closed. So parang yun yung point ko dun sa work na yun. It's like, all you see is how pretty it is. But if you look closely, then we go back again to my statement na parang it's about how you look at things. You have to look past how beautiful things can be. Kasi sometimes when things are so beautiful, a little too beautiful, it's usually meant to cover up something. Every work talaga has its own purpose and I have my own intentions when it comes to each work. So my art I created for other people to open their eyes. It can be any topic, but it's usually about something important. But sometimes I do create work to just inspire people to be curious, to ask questions, and to appreciate art. Because nowadays, I realize, like in Zamboanga, a lot of people are intimidated. It's like they don't want to join in, they don't want to talk about it because they feel like they don't understand it enough. They feel like they don't know art enough to be able to say something. But it's not supposed to be like that. Art is for everybody. Like, it's not for the rich, it's not for the poor, it's just for everybody who wants to learn about art. And you guys shouldn't be intimidated to ask questions because art is all about questions. When you look at a piece, you don't really understand what it is. Even if you have your own interpretations, it's always gonna be different or not as exact as the artist's own interpretations. I feel like my art, it's supposed to be a mirror. I want to give people a safe environment. Now, when they look at my work, they come up with their own interpretation. And usually, when we interpret something, it's because of what we feel. Like we project our emotions onto what we see. Your interpretations, they are reflections of what you feel, what you know, and what you've learned. So that's what I want my art to be. A space for people, it doesn't even have to be artists, normal people, to be able to help recognize themselves, find themselves, read themselves, and express themselves. You don't have to be an artist to like art and understand art and feel like you can interpret art. Kasi as long as you're a person and you want to understand, you have an opinion. And your opinions matter. I think it's all about baby steps. But the number one thing that I wish I had told myself when I was younger was to believe in myself. Because even if so many people think you're amazing, and I'm telling you this like after years of experience, even if the whole world says your art is good, at the end of the day, if you don't like what you're doing, if you don't like this piece that you put out, you're not gonna be happy. Your most important critic is yourself. So you always have to believe in yourself and always tell yourself that it's okay. If you do bad today, you can do better tomorrow. And if you do bad after that, you can do better again tomorrow. But you have to believe in yourself. It's really about giving importance to your own opinion and not belittling yourself. A lot of us, we really base our success on outside validation. So that's what you're taught when growing up, like the famous artists Picasso, Van Gogh, and we pressure ourselves, young artists, we pressure ourselves so much to be successful. Nobody really talks about how Leonardo da Vinci and Van Gogh, they're really old. Like they became famous, they were around 50, 60, 70. Like Picasso's paintings weren't famous until later on, like after his death now, like many other years. And it really is baby steps. Like don't rush yourself. Don't feel like you need to make a grand gesture. As long as you're trying each and every day, you're not a failure. You only become a failure once you give up on yourself and you actually stop taking steps to reach your dream and your goals. It's not fast. Like being successful in life, it's not a straight line. You don't go like from here and you go up. You have good days, and then you're not a successful artist, and then you're okay again, and then you're not a successful artist, and you do something again. And it's all about acceptance. You have to accept that that's how it's gonna be. Did you know that in the Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci, it took him almost 30 years just to do her lips? But he didn't give up, and it's his most famous painting. So that's what I'm trying to say. It may seem hard, and it may seem like you're taking like really, really small steps, but then if you look at it, it makes a big difference now. I was scared because I really could have failed. I didn't know that I'd be successful. I'm not even successful now, but I didn't know that I'd be a practicing artist until now. So if I had failed, that would have been 4 years of my life to waste. But then if you look at it, that's 4 out of what, 70 years? That's not much. And don't be afraid. At the end, if you think about it, we really are holding ourselves back. The rest of the world, they can believe in you, but if you don't believe in yourself, you're not gonna take that step.